outside of, just seeing what's going on with the homeless and attempting to do all that we can here to make sure they have food and the essentials and putting together care bags. The other side to that is those that do have housing. And now we see gentrification starting to happen. It's slower here than it is in other areas, but I feel like the concentration is other areas. Our day is coming. And we see the bleed happening just a little bit by little bit. We had one developer come in, putting 18 units on Wildwood at the, $449,000. And I'm attempting to share with the community, y'all don't sell your houses,
And that's the biggest challenge. That is
Right.
the conversation. That is the conversation I have had for years now. Every town hall that I used to have as the district rep, I had a town hall every quarter because District 3 was so expansive geographically. I didn't expect everyone to come in, so I tried to move it around throughout different parts. When we own our home, when we own our land, mind you, you never own in North Carolina because you're always paying taxes. And them taxes are
That's
real.
real, y'all.
Yet,
That's real.
when the bank note says that this you're the one responsible for it, you control the conversation. But when we rent for 20 years, all the investments you've made into someone else's property that at any given time they can say, you need to move.
Right.
And we're selling. The other side of that is you don't want local government to tell you, Miss Knox, you can't sell this house.
That's right.
The other conversation is for our elders, do not leave the property to all five children.
Don't do that.
Identify one. Have an actual will. Because just like that commercial where the father is working on the car with his son and he was like, me and my dad worked on this car. One day I'm hoping you'll have it. And the guy pops up in the back seat, say it doesn't count. You need to have that in writing.
That's right.
That's a
It must be
reality.
in writing,
Because
yes.
what we're seeing is heirs' rights, meaning this home has been in your family for a generation or more, but no one actually wrote down anywhere what happens to this house when I'm deceased.
Right.
So then you have individuals that have been living in the house, paying the taxes, maintaining the home, but you have no legal documentation showing ownership. Or honestly, you leave it to multiple children. You leave it to 4. 3 of them live in another state.
Yep.
They're not even interested. They're like, okay, well, let's sell it because someone's offering us $400,000, but the one who has been maintaining the home, paying the taxes on the home,
Right.
you lose rights
That's
in
right.
that conversation, and you're forced to sell because you have the one who hasn't done anything to keep this home up, but because their name is on it, they can put you in that position. Or you have these investors that know how to separate us and go after what can be considered the weakest link.
Yes.
And then
that's
you're
happening.
forced to sell, and we don't really comprehend, okay, get a property manager. You pay them 8 to 10%. Make sure the house is in good condition. Work with the city. Work with one of our partners. How about you be the landlord? The property manager will maintain everything. Do your research to get the right property
That's right.
manager.
Very important.
But let them handle the day to day. You just created additional wealth in
right.
your family because 9 to 10 chances that house, if there's a mortgage on it, that mortgage is probably under $1,000 a month. Today's rents are running 1,800 and up.
That's right.
So even if you charge 1,800, let's say you charge 1,500 a month, but the mortgage on the house is $600-$700. You even add in how much breakdown for the year, what the property taxes are. You still are generating wealth because you're generating $200 to $500 a month that can be set aside.
That's right. That's right.
Versus you
family.
selling it for pennies on a dollar for an investor to come in, flip it. And here's the conversation that people are not having, and I think is so interesting. They are legally stealing all the equity out of the home. And people aren't even paying attention. So let's say that house was originally purchased for $80,000. You've lived in it. You sold it for $250,000.
Right. Y'all
First of all, you can't find a house for $250,000, and you didn't think to go look at what that cost of houses are today. And let's just look at the last 3-4 years. Let's look at since COVID. You didn't go look to see what them new houses are going for. So you've sold your house, unless you got another house where you're gonna live, because now that's just a down payment on a new house. But you had a house that was paid off. But you done started a whole new mortgage. Okay, they get in, they do minimum work because it's a flip, because everyone watch HGTV like I do, and everybody think that they are a flipper and you should make $100,000 or more off of a flip. So you go in and you do this very basic work. You're not a general contractor. You're not licensed. New person comes in, they don't know all of this, and they don't stop and actually go to Mecklenburg County specialists to put that address in to see what that house originally sold for, what it recently sold for, or what the property evaluation said. So the house is only valued about $327 now, but you just paid $500 for that house.
Right.
If it's valued at $327, because we say the market sets the value, the market value on the street is very different than what the equity is in that. So according to Mecklenburg County, it's valued about $350, but you just paid $500 or $600 or $800. So when they come back around for this next property evaluation, because we saw it in 2011, you saw entire neighborhoods, mainly our neighborhoods, that would devalue and that would come together where we saw all the equity wiped out of our homes. What you think is going to happen on this? I personally have a concern that these people that paid $700,000-800,000, you are not going to see growth. Now, if you were able to get that home for under $300,000, you're going to see some equity. But if you paid much more over that, if anything, you're going to be upside down in the next year or two.
Wow.
And you're already seeing homes are going into foreclosure because people fell into that trap of date the rate, marry the home. That's a lie, because that rate didn't drop down. So you sign this paperwork with a $3,500 to $4,200 a month mortgage, thinking, okay, I'll refinance next year. Well, it's now 4 years later, and the interest rate is 6%,
Right.
7%. 6 and 7% is not a high interest rate in comparison.
Right.
But when your house was $100,000 or $150,000 versus that house being $500,000 or $600,000 with a 6-7% interest rate, missed 2 of them payments, you've now messed up your credit. You potentially looking at bankruptcy or looking at default, and the investor's just sitting right there on the side.
Just waiting. Just wait.
So when we have the conversation, community, keep your homes. For you elders that don't have children, or your children don't live here and you know that they're not interested, you have young people in your community that are interested in buying a home. Go ahead and negotiate now for them to buy the home so that it is owner occupied
Wow.
versus investors, because we have about 100,000 homes within Charlotte proper that are single family homes that have been purchased by investment companies that are now rentals.
Wow.
So when they say, well, we don't have enough housing stock, they're also not, and the powers that be that love to throw these numbers out, I have yet to see where they account for all of the homes that have been purchased domestically or locally. I have never seen a study that shows how many of your local elected officials, local or state, own property throughout the city. What was the time that they started buying property? How many people during the time of them being in office, you can track and see how many homes they purchased because you knew where investments were going? So no one looks into that. But what we do know, and it's because of NACA, who was here a month ago during their weekend training, they actually created a mapping that can tell you who the primary investment company is. So like Invitation Homes buys properties under 2 or 3 different names. They can track those and then track them back to the parent company. And if you look, it's been historically our areas because they devalue
Right.
the value of our land and our homes. But we have these homes on these nice sized lots that today you're getting multifamily and duplexes put on that same
Yes.
lot where that single family home was. But they're buying them, but they can't buy it if we didn't sell it.
That's right.
And I know it was a long answer to
No,
the
but
question,
this is what
but
people need to hear.
I'm passionate about it because we can control some of this. We just willingly give our power away because we're looking at the short term.
Yes. Get that little bit of money and then
And we don't realize it's a little bit.
right. They think
But
it's
we
a
don't
lot.
stop and think.
Right.
Okay, what can I do with this? Because now you receive this money. Now you're paying taxes on it. Because what are you immediately putting that money in order a CD something in order for taxes not to eat you up?
That's right.
But even at that, if that was your main home, well, the home needs a lot of repairs. Okay, guess what? The city created programs because I created it back in 2017 called TLC by CLT, where we went in and partnered and did repairs in homes. And the commitment was for you to stay in this home for X number of years. Don't sell it. What my people do? They sold them. I can't do nothing with that.
Right. Right. And I know Habitat for Humanities has picked up the critical home care when they put some stipulations in place that, what you cannot do for X number of years after they do the work on the home. So I know they learned.
We're using government dollars to help you stay in place, age in place, maintain your home, and you're now turning around trying to make a profit off of it. You're going to have to pay us our money back.
That's right.
Yet the hope is that you understand this asset that you have, because home ownership in America is still one of the best ways to generate wealth. Now, we say that it's all on how you use it because you got to maintain the home. You have to do other things, and that's an expense in itself. It's not like an apartment. That HVAC unit go out, that's on you to fix that. That new roof, that's on you to fix that. Yet, depending on where you are in the income pendulum that swings back and forth, there may be funding out there to assist you. The other side of that is understanding that equity can help start that new business. That equity can pay off debt. Don't pay off the credit cards and then turn around and run them back up. That equity can help pay for school.
You'll get some good stuff today.
That equity can help pay for school. You really don't realize the true value until you sell. But what's your plan? Once you sell, then what?
That's right.
Where are you going to go? Because why would you sell? Say you get $350,000. Why would you now have to use that same $350 for 20% down for a whole new 30-year mortgage?
Right.
Of which now they're 40-year mortgages because 30 years is not long enough based on these interest rates and the cost of housing. But why would you do that when you could have taken out a HELOC or some other form, because HELOCs aren't the answer to everything, and done the repairs, done that addition onto the house, built a little house because you have a lot big enough and rent that out.
That's right.
Build an accessory unit because we call it ADU. Build that. And then you have income, or build that, and mom has her own. She still has her independence. She still has her privacy, but she's safe because she has her own little house.
That's right. It's good stuff.
I just want us to be educated on what's right in front of us and all the resources that are available if you take advantage of them.
That's right. I mean, this is all these nuggets that she's dropping today for everyone. This is, some of the things that we say repeatedly here at the Hub and talking with the neighbors that come here for answers and also at our community meetings. So take heed to the information that has been shared here freely today. You don't have to pay anybody to get this. This is good stuff. So as we wrap up for today,
And this went by so quick.
it did, it did. I just leave us some words of wisdom. What would you share with the people, especially as in such a time as this?
We need to be engaged. One, I want to thank you. I have had the opportunity to visit and participate just this year, at least 4 events, including this past weekend. And I made it in time for the Juneteenth celebration and the acknowledgement and the crowning of the kings. We need you all to continue doing what you're doing. We need community to be engaged. Don't wait. Like right now, we're seeing it all across the nation. Don't wait till ICE come knock on your door to be concerned about what ICE is doing.
It's so true.
Don't wait until you see the trees being cleared and then be upset. When you're driving through your neighborhood and you see those big yellow signs with the blue Z, that's a rezoning. Take a moment, slow down long enough, because it's 25 miles an hour in the residential, not 40. So slow down long enough to capture that picture and go online, charlottenc.gov, as in for government, charlottenc.gov, Charlotte, North Carolina.government. You can, in the search engine, just type in rezoning, all the rezonings. When you see those numbers, those first 2 numbers are the year. It's the end of the year. So you'll see 21, 23. That's 2021, 2023, 2025. Then it's a dash. The other number is what number they came in the petition. So looking at 2025, we already have over 100 petitions out there. Wow. So the first 2 numbers are the year. The last numbers, however, 2 or 3, are what number they are. You can go in, pull up, look whether or not, when they're having their public hearing, whether it's going to be online or in person. If you live within 300 feet of where the rezoning is happening, you're going to automatically receive notification. If you feel like you're going to be impacted, take the time to pull that up and look and know when those meetings are. Come to the public hearings.
That's right.
Watch council meetings on Monday nights. I say we are the best reality show on TV because you never know how the meetings are going to go. Personally, for the adults that are watching this, I think it's better with libation. Yet, it can also be like an evening game because you can almost be concerned. You will win the game if you watch enough because you'll know who's pretty much going to say what. You know, I'm going to pull something. I'm going to ask some freaking questions about what are we doing and help me understand the logic. You're going to have some of us that speak, but then turn around and raise our hand. Believe your eyes and believe your ears, but use both. Don't just listen to us. Watch the meetings. If you can't watch on Monday nights, guess what? We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Know what we're doing because we are impacting your everyday quality of life. Right. Elections are this year. Guess what? We're in June. Filing starts in July. We have a September primary. The primaries are the most important for Charlotte because that's when you get choices. You have 4 at-large members. You're going to have at least 8 to 10 people running. Every district, you only get 1 district rep. Some of these districts are going to have anywhere from 2 to 4 people running from them, which means you have choices.
That's right.
Show up, listen, advocate for yourselves.
That's right.
Don't send me a mass message. Don't send me a message where you sign a petition or move on. I am going to tell you why. I don't care about that. I care about the residents. So when people across the nation send us something and I don't have your address, I don't know what community you live in, you don't live here, you don't pay no taxes here, you don't work here, you don't traverse back and forth here, why are you asking the elected officials when I need to be concerned about my residents in the city and the ETJ? Because those rezonings come through us. But I'm concerned about the people that lived here and who want to live here. Y'all slow up. Take a moment. We don't really need more people right now. We're trying to figure out how to help all the ones we already have here. Even though I'm a transplant, I came before the city grew. Yet, understand that you have more power than you realize. Don't give that power up. Hold us accountable. But hold me accountable for the right things. Don't try to hold me accountable for nonsense.
There you go. That's good stuff.
And follow us, Mayfield LaWana, on Instagram. Mayfield LaWana. Facebook, LaWana Mayfield. It is LA, capital WANA. There's no 2 N's. There's no D. The W is not lowercase. My mama did it. I asked her one time why she capitalized the W. She said because I did. That was the end of that conversation. So, because I grew up where we didn't question parents.
That's right.
So she wrote it that way for a reason. So it's LA, capital WANA, dot Mayfield, MAYFIELD, at charlottenc.gov. Reach out. Follow me on social media. Help me help you and help me be a better representative.
All right. And there you have it, everybody. Well, we are truly, truly thankful for our guests today. We have been educated. Y'all just sit and listen to this entire podcast because some serious nuggets were dropped that could help you and your family members. And share. Please share this with everybody that you know so that they can be educated as well. So again, my name is Beverly Knox Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the A Brighter Day Outreach podcast. And you can also find us on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and just all of them. So just look for us and find us and get yourself educated. Thank you again, and we'll see you at the next episode. Bye, everybody.